Well, it is Valentine's Day, and we are celebrating our love for the Country Music Museum in downtown Bristol, where there is always something fun going on, including a brand new exhibit. It is called Hometown Stars. Dr. Jessica Turner, director of the Birthplace of Country Music Museum, joins us this morning to tell us more about this new exhibit and some fun things that they have going on. And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
We both got the red sweater memo. It's very festive and fun. And you guys, of course, celebrating a lot of things in downtown Bristol, including a new exhibit that you guys
We
have.
had a new exhibit open this month called Hometown Stars, Southwest Virginia's Recording Legacy. And it really focuses on the breadth of recording that's going on in Southwest Virginia, Northeast Tennessee, especially in the 1920s and 30s. So we know the famous folks like the Carters or Jimmy Rogers, but there were a lot of people recording during this time, and this exhibit really digs into a lot of that regional history.
And this is an exhibit that's kind of on loan, I understand, from a college in the Southwest Virginia Blue Ridge Mountain area.
Yes, the Blue Ridge Institute and Museum at Ferrum College does a lot of really wonderful research and exhibits that look at regional Appalachian culture, and they've been wonderful to work with, great partners on this, and we've borrowed it from them.
Well, and it's so perfect because, of course, we have so many people that come in from the Southwest Virginia area to get an opportunity to celebrate those folks that we may not have been familiar with.
Right. So a lot of people might know names such as Ernest Stoneman or Doc Boggs, or people who were recording during that time and really prolific playing around the area. But there are a lot of other people who were less well known but just as active. And you know, it reminds us all of how rich our music region is. And you know, that legacy carries on. And the exhibit also has the very first country music record ever made.
Oh, wow.
Which was, you know, recorded by a Southwest Virginia man, Ernest Stoneman, in the turn, you know, Christmas, New Year, 1924, 1925. Ernest Stoneman recorded a song about the sinking of the Titanic. That's the first country record, and it's made by somebody in Southwest Virginia. So, you know, it's really remarkable to think about all of that influence that shapes the recording industry at that time, and how, you know, that genre is really taking shape by people in our backyard.
I was going to say, we talk about the birthplace of country music, but to really grasp what that means, I mean, if you look at the country as a whole, it started right there.
Right. I mean, it's a region that often forgets itself because this, you know, these are people in our communities. A lot of people play traditional music, but to really see how that influences that early recording industry and still continues to influence people today is pretty remarkable.
That is really cool. And folks have a couple of months to get in and to take part and to see this exhibit.
Yes, it'll run through June, the beginning of June. So yes, people can get on down and see that exhibit.
Very cool. All right, and you guys are doing a lot of fun things with Groundhog Day, which I know you guys did this last year as well.
Yes, it's a repeat.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard of such a crazy thing when it comes to groundhogs. But yes, and so people can actually win some things as well.
They can. You know, Groundhog Day, February tends to be a slower month for anybody in museums, or just because of the weather, because people aren't traveling. And we thought last year, what would be a fun way to remind people to get out of their holes and go do something fun.
I like that. I like that.
So we have this Groundhog Day promotion where you can buy one, get one on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the museum. And there are some fun giveaways on our Facebook pages, either the Birthplace of Country Music Museum Facebook page or the Bristol Rhythm and Roots Reunion Facebook page. And so you can comment there and win a little prize package, which includes a little stuffed groundhog.
Oh, and he's so cute. We have one in our office that we keep right there. He's kind of our little mascot now.
Everybody needs a groundhog.
I know. Well, and if you're a stay-at-home mom and you have kids, this museum, there are so many things that are very hands-on and interactive for the kids too.
Right, and kids tend to be intuitive with how these touch screens work. I mean, they pick it up quite quickly, and they can teach their parents and their grandparents how to make those work. But it's a really interactive space. It's really fun. Good thing to do on a snow day or spring break or those kinds of things.
And you have an event coming up in March. It's Shape Note Sing.
Yes. So, you know, shape note singing is a tradition that is long-standing in this region. And a lot of times people who are in shape note communities or who teach shape note singing come and do these, you know, in a community sense. So people will gather and learn a little bit of shape note singing and then sing. And that's what we do. It's just a real, I mean, there's a group of people, the Old Field Singers do this regularly. They're quite good, but it's also one of those places where you can come and know nothing at all about shape note singing and still learn a little bit, dig in, have covered dish lunch with these folks, and then just really enjoy some of the music the way it was taught decades
Back
ago.
then.
Yes. So it's always it's a fun thing. That's March 25th.
That sounds very interesting, and it's from 10 to 3 in March.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll give everybody the information. Lots of fun things going on, as we mentioned, in downtown Bristol at the Birthplace of Country Music Museum. You can check it out, and don't forget to check out that new exhibit. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to check back in with Chris, who is live at the Omni Grove Park Inn.